Hi, it's Todd again, and today we are at Swamp Creek Baptist Church. This church was established in 1857, has a quaint little cemetery here, and it's right by the interstate, right by a busy highway. So let's go ahead and take our walk through. We'll see what we can find. Stay tuned.
Cemetery walks. Come on a journey through the veil of time, where the voices of the lost in the silence chime. With every step their stories rise through the mist where history lies. A cemetery walks, we'll find their trace, unravel the lifetime can't erase. Cemetery walks, the past comes alive when history talks. Cemetery walks, the past comes alive when history talks.
We have some Hollands here. Thacker, Herman F. Thacker, November 11th, 1921 to July 12th, 1947. We have some DeFores, Klein. Now, you know me, if I see something interesting, I'll actually stop, but for the most part, I'm looking for VA markers or some hint that there's prior service that are buried here. And you can't go wrong with American flags. We'll get back over here in just a few moments. This would be R.D. Carroll, November 23rd, 1910 to December 15th, 1987, with Willie Ruth Carroll, September 28th, 1918 to January 29th, 1994. And this is Mr. Carroll's VA marker, R.D. Carroll, Tech 4, U.S. Army, World War II. Thank you much for your service, sir. I think what I'm going to do is just work my way back and forth till I cover everything. We have another Gazaway. This Jackie Gazaway, January 18th, 1922 to November 7th, 1981. This apparently is his headstone that's now either sunk or been pushed into the ground.
Jack Edward Gazaway enlisted at Fort McPherson, Georgia on February 27, 1943. He was wounded and hospitalized in December of 1944 when the vehicle he was in hit a landmine. He returned to duty shortly afterward. Then in February 1945, he received a head wound from an artillery shell, and that required surgery to remove fragments of that shell. He was released from the hospital in March of 1945 to resume his duties once again.
We have George M. Wilson, 1898 to 1953. And we have William A. Bradford, September 23rd, 1923 to June 10th, 2010. Private U.S. Army, World War II, September 23rd, 23 to June 10th, 2010. Purple Heart, beloved husband, father, and pawpaw, or papaw. Thank you much for your service, sir. Some Brocks here. Yeah, on the camera you really can't tell, but there are a lot of these that I guess they weren't packed down with dirt very well, or they just collapsed. But you can see the holes, the indention here Same with here. And you can tell where the grass is a lot longer right there too. It's sad, but I have some Keens. I do see a VA marker here. This is for Thomas Ramson Edwards, North Carolina. He was a cook, U.S. Army, World War I, August 6, 1896 to December 10th, 1940. Thank you much for your service, sir. Right here in the middle of a couple of family plots. Massengill. Some tells me that's an important name. I can't quite put my finger on it, but Henry T., April 8th, 1897 to October 26, 1983, and Mary C., April 12th, 1895 to January 22nd, 1959.
After a little digging, I found the reason the name Massengill sounded so familiar. You see, S.E. Massengill Corporation was founded by Dr. Samuel Evans Massengill. Samuel, born in Bristol, Tennessee in 1871, was a physician that instead of practicing medicine decided to build his pharmaceuticals business. Henry Thomas and Samuel are related by way of Henry's third great-grandfather and Samuel's father being half-brothers. This makes Henry and Samuel half-cousins 5 times removed.
George McAfee Wilson, S2 U.S. Navy, Corporal, U.S. Air Force. That's August 4th, 1927 to September 4th, 1998. Thank you much for your service, sir. There's just no rhyme or reason how they have some of these burials facing where the headstones are. You have D.E. Wilson and Abia O. Wilson. D.E. is 1903 to 1970, and Abia O. 1906 to 1983. We have Robert L. Curtis, Tech Sergeant, U.S. Air Force, Vietnam, May 21st, 1935 to June 23rd, 2010. Thank you very much for your service, sir. And his wife, Priscilla Patrick Curtis, April 11th, 1942 to December 17th, 2012. This is fallen in as well. I haven't seen any gopher holes, so I'm not sure if that could be the cause of this. We have in memory of Truman C. Jones, February 12th, 1905 to August 9th, 1906. Just a baby. Something tells me these are also Jones' children. Marion, Marion, June 9th, 1855, died on September 9th, 1916. And this is Sally Jones, born April 29th, 1856, died October 26th, 1935. Quite a few of these smaller stones here. And you have this. I assume it is a burial, but it is, I don't see any markers for it. This is Mary Ann Black. She was born July 31st, 1859, died January 10th, 1908. And I Love these old wrought iron plots here and these fences. It has a character to them once you get the growth on them. This we have Miss M.J. Mitchell, born August 13th, 1831, died June 16th, 1902. Well, and you can also, if you're not paying attention, hit these things. And this is John F. Mitchell, born September 7th, 1817, yes. Died September 29th, 1891.
John F. Mitchell was a Civil War veteran that enlisted into the Confederate States Army on March 4, 1862, as a Private Company B, Phillips Legion, Dalton Guards. Company B fought in major battles including Fredericksburg, Gettysburg, Chickamauga, the Knoxville, and Shenandoah Valley campaigns.
We have Billy Eugene Fawcett, S1 U.S. Navy, September 10th, 1925 to December 24th, 1974. Thank you very much for your service, sir. And you have these stones right here. This is just a wooden cross, a very small burial. It's probably a child. You have an old root here. Probably used to be a tree here. Is that a root or is it stone? No, that's old root. Probably used to be a tree around here somewhere. Right there, that one. You have this. This one actually has a plaque on it. James Sim Nations, 1869 to 1931. We have Victor L. Carroll, Georgia, PFC U.S. Army, World War II, September 14th, 1922 to July 20th, 1971. Thank you much for your service, sir. Just a stone laying there. Have some cokers here. Have a VA marker here, or in the same style. Margaret B. Gazaway, April 26, 1844 to March 8, 1910. This is Confederate David R. Gazaway, Company D, 60th Georgia Infantry, Confederate States Army, August 1st, 1839 to December 14th, 1923. Thank you much for your service, sir. We have Alton Wells Bruton, A1C U.S. Air Force, Korea, January 10th, 1932 to January 7th, 1985. And then we have this stone here. Look at the design on there. This will be Noah B. Ledforth, born December 1st, 1829, died April 19th, 1903. L-E-F-O-R-D, Ledford. Ledford. Noah B. Ledford. This one is fallen over for the Altons here. McManus. We have Sane here. We have Herbert A. Sane Jr., Georgia Staff Sergeant, Ranger Company, Vietnam, October 6, 1943 to April 19th, 1970. Thank you much for your service, sir. And then this is William Bowman, May 1st, 1820, died August 1903. And then way over here, James Alton, September 18th, 1880 to June 9th, 1906. That's a field stone that was hand engraved. Whoever did a great job. It might be concrete, but I think it's a field stone. It looks like a field stone. And under here we have William M. Bowman Sr., Private Company C, 39th Georgia Infantry, Confederate States Army.
William Bowman Sr. and his son, William Bowman Jr., both volunteered to serve in the Confederate Army during the Civil War. They enlisted on March 10, 1862, and both were assigned to Company C, 39th Georgia Volunteer Infantry Regiment, which was part of the Army of Tennessee. The father and son served side by side, along with fellow soldiers from the Carbondale area, until the Battle of Vicksburg in May 1863. On May 16th, during the Battle of Champion Hill near Baker's Creek, Mississippi, the 39th Regiment was engaged in heavy fighting under General John C. Pemberton. As the Confederate forces began to retreat, William Sr. witnessed his son fall in battle. Rushing to his side, he found that William Jr. had been killed. He was only 20 years old. Shortly after, William Sr. was wounded and captured by Union forces. He was paroled on May 27, 1863, and allowed to return home to recover from his injuries. After several months of recuperation, he rejoined his unit in March 1864, where he served the remainder of the war.
May 1820 to August 1903. Thank you much for your service, sir. Some keys and some poems. Edgar Glenn Pullum, November 14th, 1946 to September 18th, 1990. And Harold Hilliard, Harold D. Hilliard, September 15th, 1930 to September 9th, 2022. And the graves extend all the way to here. Teasleys, a couple of Longs, Baxley and Smith. We have some field stones here. One, two, three, 4 burials here. You have this old one in memory of Barbara Kinman, daughter of John and Elizabeth Musgrove, was born July 28, 1805, departed this life May 1st, 1879. We have wills here of James Raymond Wills, March 18th, 1909 to December 30th, 1982. Here's his VA stone, Corporal U.S. Army, World War II. Thank you much for your service, sir. We have Earl O. Wilbanks. This is Georgia S2, United States Naval Reserve, World War II. War II? No, one. World War I. March 11th, 1894 to October 23rd, 1972. Thank you very much for your service, sir. This is Tercy A., wife of G.W. Clemens, April 5th, 1867 to March 14th, 1904. And this is a Confederate marker here. We have Thomas M. Young, Company K, 1st Arkansas Infantry, Confederate States Army. Thank you much for your service, sir. So Russell's here. The Mitchells. There are a few here that look like they've been recent. This may be the case, or it may just be where they cleared the graves. Private Frank H. Stone, November 26, 1925, killed in Brest, France, August 29th, 1944. Thank you much for your service and ultimate sacrifice, sir. And this is his VA marker. It's a private in the 115th Infantry, World War II. It's impossible to see and read every single headstone out here. That's the reason being prior service myself, I tend to concentrate on prior service. We have James Stone, born August 1st, 1838, died September 18th, 1918. And Mary Roberts, born 1843, died 1914. This is Samuel Stoker, Georgia, 1st Sergeant, U.S. Marine Corps, November 26, 1927. Thank you much for your service, sir. And I see one more. Well, this is J.B. Raines, Private U.S. Army, December 11th, 1924 to July 17th, 1994. Thank you much for your service, sir. And Brown, James W. Brown, April 20th, 1938 to June 20th, 2018. It's getting hot out here now. The wind is now gone away, so there's no wind anymore. So thank you for joining me on this walk here at Swamp Creek Church and Cemetery. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification button to get notified every time I drop a new video. You have a blessed day, and we'll see you on our next walk.
Thank you for watching Cemetery Walks. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click those share, like, and notification buttons to stay up to date with my latest videos and posts.